As tensions grow over a potential Russian invasion of Ukraine, fresh CBS News polling finds that just under half of Americans think that President Biden's approach to the crisis is about right. And when it comes to events here at home, only a third believe things are going well right now. That compares with 26% last month. So what's the political impact of all of this? Who better to break it all down than our new CBS News chief election and campaign correspondent, Robert Costa. Robert, thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Great
so
to
glad
be
to have you.
Thank you so much.
We should dive right into it because those polling numbers are not good for President Biden. He's got trouble at home, but meanwhile, he's dealing with a potential international crisis. What are the stakes here for him?
The stakes are very high for President Biden, but also for the party in power, the Democratic Party. I spoke to several Democratic senators and House members over the weekend to ask how they see it, because they have to face voters this fall. And for now, they feel pretty good because they believe President Biden does not want to actually be interventionist and sending U.S. troops to fight on the ground. For now, it's about sending arms, maybe sending troops over to Europe, working on energy issues, but not having an all-out U.S. intervention.
Ukraine is taking a lot of the political attention in this country, and meanwhile, you've got probably two-thirds of Americans disagreeing with the direction of the country and giving the president poor marks on the way things are going here. How does he handle Ukraine without losing sight of problems at home?
He's facing scrutiny from voters and his political opponents on all fronts. But talking to Republicans, they're not going to run against President Biden only on foreign policy. Talking to House Republicans in particular, they want to focus more on inflation, but they also know that there's still some variables out there. How does this really play out on policy? What does Putin actually do? And you have other issues like social issues. Abortion could come to the fore later this year with the Supreme Court decision, in addition to the economy and foreign policy.
Focusing on inflation is an interesting thing, a challenge for the president in its own right, because there's limited tools in the president's tool chest for dealing with inflation. He doesn't control the Fed, so what can he do?
Well, we'll see what the Federal Reserve does in the coming months. Do they raise interest rates at all? And that's something both parties are prepared for a little bit of a different economic climate.
So go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, President Trump is still trying to exercise maximum control over the party, but you had some breaking of ranks here. Both Mitch McConnell and former Vice President Mike Pence have stood out and stood apart. How do you think this is going to move for you? Do you think they're going to get any traction with voters?
We're going to have to watch these early primary races to see if President Trump's political capital is still there. I'd pay attention to the Alabama Republican Senate primary. An establishment favorite, Katie Britt, is running against Mo Brooks, who was endorsed by Trump. If Katie Britt can pull off a win against a Trump-endorsed candidate in a red state, that may say that President Trump's endorsement doesn't mean everything, though it still means a lot to Republican voters.
So let's talk to Democrats. When it comes to the direction of the country, 33% of the country, only 33%, think things are going well. So what can President Biden do? Still a lot of time, but time is drawing near before the midterms.
I asked some Democratic senators and House members about this. They want the president to be out there, and he is, to sell what they did on infrastructure, over $1 trillion in spending. And they feel like too few people are talking about the American Rescue Plan from back in March of 2021, $1.9 trillion. For the Democrats, if they can't get voting rights done at this point, though something may be done on the Electoral Count Act, some kind of reform, they want to sell the spending they've already passed.
Is that a problem generally with Democrats? I know that President Obama has even called Democrats out for not bragging about things that they're winning on.
Certainly that's a view inside of the Biden White House. Talking to some of my sources there, they want Democrats on Capitol Hill to champion what Biden has done, not just complain about what hasn't been accomplished.
Hindsight's 20/20 because Obama was criticized for not doing the exact same thing. So we thank you so much for joining us, Robert Costa, and welcome to.
It's a real honor to be here.
I know.
I couldn't be more excited to be with all of you.
Yeah, I was going to tell you where the cafeteria is in the Washington Bureau, but actually there is no cafeteria. You have to go off-site, which is fine.
That's
a lot
fine.
of good restaurants in the area.
Go meet a source at a coffee shop.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're good people here. Robert Costa, again, thank you.